local people, important issues. CBS 10 WILM's weekly focus on the Lower Cape Fear region. This is Byline Wilmington with your host, Don Ansell.
Welcome and good morning. Today you're going to hear some candid conversation, maybe provocative, about minorities and education and about the divisive and controversial New Hanover County redistricting issue. All in light of this being Black History Month. Our guests are both educators. LaChawn Smith is the principal of Sunset Elementary School, and Dorothy DeShields is a former principal, educator, and a member of the New Hanover County School Board. Thank you both for joining us, and good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's start off with a controversial op-ed piece that was written by a Black conservative. His name is Walter Williams, and it kind of indicted the Black community for many of the problems in educating minorities. It caused a big stir locally. Let me read a statement. We're going to put it up on the air, on the screen as well, from the column that got all this attention. Many Black students are alien and hostile to the education process. They have parents with little interest in their education. These students not only sabotage the education process, but make schools unsafe as well. These students should not be permitted to destroy the education chances of others. They should be removed, or those students who want to learn should be provided with a mechanism to go to another school. And that again is from a African-American columnist and a doctor of economics, Walter Williams. What are your comments on that, Dorothy?
Well, I take issue with the entire article that Mr. Williams wrote. And the title of the article is Black Education. I take issue because I think he has made too many broad statements about Black students in education. For him to say that parents are not interested and that he's not saying most, he says many, but he's taking all of the negative things that are happening in schools and he's making it look like there's no hope for Black children in education, and I take issue with that.
LaChawn, you have any comments on it?
I do. I think that Dr. Williams' views are extremely limited, and also along the lines of what Dr. DeShields just said, I think that he is trying to generalize to a whole population of people the actions of very, very few.
Is that a dangerous perception to put out?
I think it is extremely dangerous. I think that it paints a very unfair picture of what's happening within education and also what's happening with our children and their families.
And we have another quote from Mr. Williams, or Dr. Williams. He attacked the issue of role models, calling it nonsense. And let's put this up on the screen. He said, Black academic performance is the worst in the very cities where large percentages of teachers and administrators are Black, and often the school administration is Black, the mayor is Black, most of the city council is Black, and very often the chief of police is Black. That was his quote on role models, saying that they don't have any value, and he called it nonsense. What's your response to that, and is there any connection?
I disagree with Dr. Williams because I do think that role models are important, and role models for Black kids don't always have to be Black role models, but Black role models are important, as well as role models of other races.
Yeah, I found it interesting. It really isn't our Black role models important, it's our role models important.
Exactly.
LaChawn, how important do you think role modeling is in the education process?
Well, I think that they are extremely important, and I think what he's trying to do here is look for causation. And though there may be situations where the challenges that are found in those cities are great, and maybe the academic performance is not what we would like for it to be, I don't think that you can look for or assert causation in the fact that you have more African American individuals in higher levels of positions. I think that if he had been more introspective in what he was looking for, and if he was looking for causation or looking for some type of correlation, then he would have needed to have done a little research, as opposed to putting such a controversial assertion out there and just leaving it there for folks to respond to.
Do you consider yourself a role model?
I do consider myself a role model, and I say that not to inflate any of the of my accomplishments, but
But your students look to, I mean, they have to look to you.
Well, definitely, and so you hold yourself in a higher esteem. But I think for a lot of us in education, it's hard for us to speak to our accomplishments or to do that. But I do know that my children do look to me and do model my behavior, and so I have to definitely hold myself at a higher level.
Do you think about that as you go about your duties day to day?
Oh, I think about it in my speech, in my dress, in my interactions with others, in my interactions with them. But yes, definitely.
Yeah. Do you consider yourself a role model?
Certainly, and I always have. You know, I had years ago in my church, a church member said to me, "Don't you ever let my child see you doing anything wrong," because she looks up to you.
And
so
was this when you were a principal?
Yes,
Yeah.
we hold that responsibility,
Yes. Yeah.
and we take it very seriously. It is important for children of all races and creed to see that LaChawn can be the principal of the school. It's important for children of all races to see that our president can be a president. I mean, this is important because children can look to these people and say, I can do that too.
We really don't have enough time before the break to get into this next segment I want to talk about. Williams also criticized the notion that higher teacher paying teachers more money, and smaller class size has any bearing on the education process. So when we come back, we'll talk about that notion as well. Stay with us.